Hello, this is Phyllis Wilson coming to you to talk about shedding coats. For some people, you may not understand what that means, but let me explain it to you this way, as I explain in my book, Josephine's Coat of Many Colors. Shedding coats simply means taking off the things that you have layered on to your life, your body, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. You have linked to you and taken responsibility and ownership of someone else's stuff. Shedding the coat simply means you give it back. You give it back to its rightful owner. You give it back and give it to its rightful place. Then I had the question posed to me by a good friend of mine, and she said, but what if the coat is laying on your couch? You still have taken ownership of it. Why? Because it's within your four walls. It's in your home. It's in your dwelling. It's in your space. So I say, because we know we have company that comes over, and every now and then we say, where did this umbrella come from? Or where did those shoes come from? Because we've had guests in our situation. We've had guests in our environment. We've had guests in our homes. And we have allowed them to leave some things behind. So shedding the coats means giving it back to the person that it belongs to. Now, when I say shedding coats, that means it could be, and I'm going to be more specific for you, it could mean that monthly car payment. It could mean insurance payments. It could mean buying grocery. It could mean taking ownership of their children. Give that stuff and those people back to the places and the people they need to be with, and that it was appointed for them to take ownership of. And then later, as I keep talking, I'll tell you 2 reasons why you have to shed these coats. Now, I'm not saying in a situation where the children are your responsibility now because their parent or parents are drug addicts or in prison or incarcerated, any of those things. I don't mean give back under those circumstances. Those are circumstances that you opted to step up to the plate so that those children would have a place to call home, and they could still feel love, and they can still be nurtured and raised in the right way to go the right direction, so that they are not in their same situation as their parents. That's different. But I mean, if Pookie and them want to go out clubbing, or Pookie and them want to live life like they're still teenagers, but they got 6, 7 kids, and they bring them to your house and forget your address when they drive off because they've only asked you to watch them for a day or the night or a few hours, and those few hours turn into years and months and weeks. I don't mean that. I mean, give those people back the responsibility of being adults. The reason why I say it's necessary to shed coats, one reason, because you're stagnating yourself from your growth and your journey, which is your life. 2, because you are not allowing those individuals to be grown. They make grown decisions, they make grown choices, they make grown people bills. Grown people responsibilities take grown people to handle them. So that's the second reason why you need to give them back and shed those coats of all of their stuff that you have taken on and taken ownership of, because you are not helping them to grow. Think about, if you keep taking on that person's responsibility, you keep layering on the coats of all of their stuff onto yourself, your person, your being, you are making you heavier. You are making your responsibilities more than what your own stuff that you created. You have allowed them to live a summer free, enjoying life to the fullest, being the best that they could be, while you're over here stuck in a corner because you can't move from being tied down and weighed down with all of their stuff. So even when the seasons change, because in our life our seasons do change, there is a shift, there is a different level that we get to. You're allowing those individuals, as long as you keep their stuff, as long as you don't shed those coats, you're allowing them to live a summer season all the time, where they can have the margaritas and Taco Tuesdays and not have to worry about feeding babies, or not having to worry about paying those light bills, gas bills, car notes, buying clothes and shoes, and getting the hair and nails done. You have taken on the responsibility of taking care of grown people. And for me, all grown people need their own and means to fulfill their own desires, dreams, and wishes. and any other demands that they label on being grown. They can't wait to be out of your house, but yet you keep allowing them to keep bringing things back in your house. So shed those coats. It's beneficial for you and it's beneficial for them, because what if you decide that you're not going to have that same door that they used to coming in because you've relocated and start living your best life? You have not prepared them. You've hindered them from them being fully grown and knowing exactly what that means. It means more than being 21 and being able to get into clubs. It means more than being able to go buy liquor without having to show ID, or showing ID and not being rejected. It means that they have the responsibility of learning how to budget and handle their own finances without thinking your finances monthly is supposed to help cover XYZ amount of bills for them, and they aren't babies and don't live under your roof. And even if they are grown and have to live with you, they still should be responsible for their own financial well-being, paying their own bills that include cell phone and their own cable bills and their own whatever bills. That means you not being responsible for they're dating some man or some woman, but then they expect you to help them buy flowers and birthday gifts and Christmas gifts. No. Shed all of those coats, because you want to take your finances and do whatever your heart's desire. So shedding coats is very beneficial for you first, and for the person or people or groups of individuals, friends, family, or whatever, acquaintance, associates, or whoever you have taken on responsibility to where they think you're obligated to do. You need to shed that coat and let them know the obligation still lies with them. They signed on the dotted line for that stuff. They gave their social security number and everything to get those services and or utility bills that come monthly like clockwork. They are the ones who made those children. You weren't even involved. You weren't in the room. You weren't smacking, flipping, rubbing nothing down when they created those children. So give all that responsibility back to who it belongs to. And while you're thinking about the rest of the day, think about, even make a list if you have to, of all the things you've taken on over the years, over the months, over the last few hours if necessary, of all the stuff and responsibility you need to give back. And then right next to it, when you make that list, write the name down of who it belongs to so you make sure you give it back. Even if that means you have to tie a nice little bow and leave it on their doorstep, give it back. And stay to the fact that you are no longer going to be responsible. Shed that coat, but don't take it back. Shed it and let it stay where it needs to be.